طيب.
You don't know? You can't just go by yourself. Someone steals you. What are you gonna do? Someone's gonna catch you.
Yes, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا وإمامنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Tonight's lesson is on Ad-durar al-Bahiyyah في المسائل الفقهية. Ad-durar al-Bahiyyah في المسائل الفقهية of Imam al-Shawkani, may Allah's mercy be upon him. We've successfully finished Kitabu al-Janaiz or Jinaza, the book of funerals, and now we're going to move on to Kitabu al-Zakah, the chapter of al-Zakah or the book of Zakah, the book of al-Zakah. Al-Zakah, of course, is one of the pillars of Islam. As the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam has said, it's related by Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma in a well-known authentic hadith, بُنِيَ الْإِسْلَامُ عَلَى خَمْسٍ. Islam has been built on 5 things. And from them is giving zakah. And as Allah Azza wa Jal mentions in Surah 9, chapter 9, Surah Tawbah, that the people making Tawbah, offering salah, and giving zakah is a reason for them being our brothers in the deen. And the reason for us leaving them alone. And their blood and their property being sacred like the Muslims. And Allah Azza wa Jal has mentioned as zakah in the Quran in so many different places. Some of the ulama of Islam, they say over 33 times along with salah, paired with the prayer. So all of the ayat about the prayer and its importance, all of the hadith about the prayer and its importance, as zakah piggybacks on that as well. Zakah, it piggybacks on the what? On salah. It's sharaf, it's nobility, it's virtue, it's excellence, it's reward. How Allah loves it in those who establish it. So it automatically gets what? Some of it. If I'm hanging out with you, you're a very famous person, or a revered person, or infamous person. Just by me being with you so many times, automatically what? Get some of that. I may be a total chump, or punk, or scaredy cat. I may not be a fighter at all. But everyone knows that what? You my man. Oh, I'm your man. Whatever I am to you, flunky, whatever. But I'm with him. We've seen him with you, what? We've seen with him too many, what? Too many times. So it's a possibility if we do something to you, Big Al may be what? Hello, what? Knocking on the door. At Tahajjud time, right? Witr. Tayyib, everyone understand this? Let alone the fact that if I am a fighter and I am tough, in which there are ayat and hadith that speak about zakat, what? By itself. Everyone understand the concept? Ayat in the Quran al-Kareem and the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that talk about zakah separately. Its obligation, its virtue, its importance, its sharaf. Everyone understand this? But the sheer fact that a salah being the amud ad-din, the vertebrae of the religion, the mainstay of the deen is prayer, right? And the thing which is right around the corner when you hear prayer or see prayer is always going to be what? Zakah. So that goes to show you the status of what? A zakat in al-Islam. The status of zakat what? In al-Islam. Naam. And as zakat has been legislated, shuri'at li hikamin kathira. Many wisdoms behind a zakat. From those wisdoms, first and foremost, ta'abbud is to worship Allah Azza wa Jal, to worship Allah through zakat. And also to prevent yourself from stinginess. And protect yourself from becoming a miser. Being a miser, which is a sickness and a disease in itself. Being a Scrooge. Also, the zakat is made for brotherhood and sisterhood. to look out for your brothers and sisters who are less fortunate than you, who aren't as lucky as you are, who aren't as blessed by Allah as you. And you don't have to give them all of your wealth because Allah, He favored you. Or you work by Allah's favor as well. You've saved this money, but you can't forget your brothers by giving them something. And to a wealthy person, giving 2.5 or a fourth or this or that or a tenth, etc. is not a lot. It doesn't hurt you, it doesn't harm you. But it does wonders and works wonders for those who have nothing or those who have very, very, very little. And the same applies to knowledge, as we say all of the time. A small khutbah that you do, a class that you give, a faida that you drop, a reminder that you share, it may change someone's life. And you don't think yourself as being that knowledgeable. I'm not that learned. I'm not that good. I'm not that fluent. Another brother should do the class. It's a little bit it's a lot to them. It only be what? Maybe what? A little to you. Don't ever underestimate the power of zakat. Now, so these are some of the wisdoms of the legislation of zakat. Also, we have the concept of the Islamic financial system. Economics in al-Islam. Money in al-Islam. And that there is a system of money and of wealth in al-Islam. And whenever there's something missing, or there's something out of order, or there's a rusty gear, right? Or old broken sprocket, then the whole system is going to suffer. The engine is going to suffer. And at best, it's going to be slow. And at worst, it's going to shut down. As we can see in many countries today, in which they're Muslims, whether it's a Muslim country or an Arab country or whatever, okay? In America, the United States, Canada, in which the zakat is not handled properly, and it's not used properly, and it's not promoted and taught what? Properly. And then there are people that are poor. There are people who have too much money, and the rest of people have nothing. So these are all some of the wisdoms of a zakat and al-Islam. All some of the wisdoms of a zakat and al-Islam. We've spoken on this many times before. We've done workshops on a zakat. Also, we have the concept of what zakat means, what it means. Zakat has the following meanings في اللغة العربية. المعنى الأول الزكاة بمعنى الطهر, purity. Something is pure and clean. المعنى الثاني البركة. Zakat means blessing. Having a little, meaning much, going far. المعنى الثالث, the third meaning of a zakat في اللغة النمو والزيادة. زكى الشيء إذا نما. The zakat is literally meaning what? Increase. Increase. So these are some of the linguistic meanings of the word zakat in the Arabic language. And as you can clearly see, all of them are relative, and all of them directly and indirectly pertain to its meaning in al-Islam. As far as what a zakat means in al-Islam, the ulama of Islam, they say i'ata'u, they say is to give, or ada'u is to pass on, haq ma'lum, or mal makhsus, a specific amount of wealth, a specific type of property, li'unasin makhsusin, or li'asnafin makhsusa, to specific people, biqadrin makhsus fi waqtin makhsus, in a limited amount during a specific time. A limited amount during a what? A specific time. So first and foremost it is to give. And it is mal, or haq makhsus, a specific type of wealth, and not all types of wealth. Everything does not have to be given as zakat, or zakat does not have to be given for what? Everything, only certain things. And that the zakat that you give cannot be given to anyone, but it can only be given to what? Certain categories of people. Asnaf makhsusa. Certain what? Certain people, certain categories. And the zakat has to be given during a what? A certain time. It has to be given during a what? A certain time. Doing it too early, doing it too late, etc. It's going to be problematic, let alone the fact that what you give has to be what? Specific. As a minimum. You can give as much zakat as you want. But there's a what? There's a minimum. And of course there are conditions for the zakat. Hunak shurut. There are conditions for the zakat being obligatory and being mandatory. Naam. Tayyib. Al-Muhim, these are all issues that pertain to a zakat. This is just a small, simple, humble introduction. And we want to just try to stick to the method as the best way we know how. The concept of zakat and a zakat workshop and its layout, alhamdulillah, on the channel, I think there may be 3 of them that we've done over the years in the different masjids, in which we went over all of these things in detail. And perhaps the time has come to do what? Do another one, to revamp it and to redress it, inshallah. That was some years ago, in the early days of HadithDisciple, we did the zakat workshops. Right. So the author, Ash-Shawkani, rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, تجب في الأموال التي ستأتي إذا كان المالك مكلفا. the first mas'ala, the first issue he says, is that zakat must be paid. Zakat must be given on the specific types of wealth and property which will soon be mentioned. Which will what? Soon be mentioned. He's just getting you into the mode now. It's going to be mentioned soon, the types of wealth that you must pay zakat for. The condition is, he says, إِذَا كَانَ الْمَالِكُ مُكَلَّفًا, as long as the owner of the wealth is mukallaf. As long as the owner of the wealth is someone who has what? Taklif. Including how many conditions? يدخل في كلمة التكليف كم شرط؟ البلوغ والعقل. That a person is of age, and then a person is mentally what? Sane. Mentally sound, mentally sane. So he said that the wealth that it must be given and paid for, the one who owns it has to be mukallaf. فيخرج بهذا الصغير والمجنون. So the author's view is that if there's a young person who has money, the zakat does not have to be what? Paid. Based off of this book. What he said in another book, Kitab Awsa' al-Muhim fi hadha al-Matan al-Mukhtasar. He said that the zakat of the young child does not have to be what? Given. Because he's not mukallaf. And that's an issue. That's an issue among the ulama of Islam. If there's an orphan or there's a young child who has $1 million, does the zakat have to be paid? Does the zakat have to be given by his guardian or custodian or not? Everyone understand this? And secondly, the majnoon, the wealthy man. He said, who came to your job, how much money did he have? And he went mad from whatever accident. How much money did he still remains? He says that wealth is no longer what? The zakat does not have to be what? Paid on that wealth because he's mad. He's crazy. Unfortunately, he's lost his mind through whatever traumatic or accident took place with him or to him. So the author says that the zakat is only given if someone is malik. And that's another issue. ماذا يخرج بكلمته المالك؟ ها ماذا يخرج بقوله المالك؟ ماذا يخرج عن هذا التعريف هذا القيد؟ إذا كان المالك مكلفا، إذا كان عند الشخص مال لكنه غير مالك له، مثلا الدين، أو يكون المال مشترك مقتسم. أنت معي ولا لا؟ He says if he owns the wealth, if he's malik. So what if you have money but it's in debt? It's tied up in what? In debt, in business. This is an apartment building, this is a here, there. You own the money technically, but at the same time you really what? It's not under your what? My hand. Trying to get, the poet said, the clutch. It's not what? It's not there. It's not under your what? Sahih or not? You sure? طيب. It's not, you're not, يعني كأنك غير مالك. أو الملك ناقص. الملك ليس تاما. فقد يطلق عليك كلمة مالك وقد لا يطلق. قد يطلق أو قد لا. The word malik, owner, could be used, or maybe it's what? Maybe it's not. I own this, or I'm paying it off, or people owe me. These are all masail among the ulama of Islam. Is zakat obligatory upon debt? Upon what? Debt. Someone may owe you $2,000, $500,000, whatever, for 5 years or for 10 years. That's above the what? The nisab. Do I pay the zakat on that wealth that you owe me yearly? Or do I wait until I get all of the money back? Or do I not have to pay it at all? Everyone understand this? You with me? Tayyib. So he said that the zakat has to be given with these conditions. The person is malik and the person is what? Mukallaf. And we explained what that means. And this is also more important, Abdul Raqib. I'm teaching you, as we say, how to wield a sword when what? When limbless. We explained this before. Teaching you how to wield a sword when you have what? No arms. Meaning if you get, this is just the one book, but you understand how to systematically what? Extract the stuff from the condensed method. How to extract things from the what? The condensed method. Because none of those things are mentioned here. Of age, majnoon, saghir, debt. But that's, I've done what? So once you train your brain to do that, and you train your eyes to recognize it and pick it up, what? Immediately. Not, I got to think about it, the sharh, Shaykh Uthaymeen said, no, you do what? Bang. This is what it's meant. And you break down a chart from one word, mukallaf. How many charts? How many pieces of the chart? Boom, boom. Aqil, baligh, aqil, malik. You understand this? That's how to wield a sword when you're what? Limbless. And you can take any book and any metan on inheritance, on aqidah, on anything and do what? Break it down like we do with the hadiths. How to deduce. Al-istinbat min al-nusus. How to deduce and extract the meanings from just looking at it what? Quickly. One hadith, it proves this. And it shows this. Al-hadith yadullu ala kada. Istihbab kada. Wa tahrim kada. Wa jawaz kada. You understand? هذا يحتاج تمرن وتمرين. You have to be trained. You have to be what? You have to be trained. So therefore, how to extract the condensed metan or decompose it, etc. Whatever, however you want to word it. طيب, moving forward. He says here, قال في الحاشية قوله مكلفا يدل على أن المصنف لا يرى الزكاة على الصغير والمجنون. وقد بسط الاحتجاج له في تصانيفه كالدرار والسيل وخالفه جماهير السلف والخلف فذهبوا إلى أن التكليف ليس شرطا في الزكاة فانظر بحثا حسنا لهم في المغني والمجموع والمنتقى للباجي والتلخيص وسبل السلام إلى آخره. It says in the footnotes, as we just explained, that the author does not hold the view that people that are insane, or he could pay, even if he's insane, because there are levels of insanity. But the one who's in charge of that individual, one who's what? In charge of the what? Of the individual. The one who's what? In charge of the individual. His view is that what? It doesn't have to be given. And he has explained this in many of his larger books, as I said to you. As a what? As I already said to you. And the footnote, or the footnoter, if that's a word in English. If not, it sounds good enough. Right? Dead or alive. I said what? Just as good. The footnoter, he says that most of the Salaf and the Khalaf, he says here, he says what? He says that most of the Salaf of the Khalaf, they have the opposite view. In other words, the author, he's taking a view in which he's in the minority. He's in the what? Minority. And most of the ulama of the past and the present, they held the view is that zakat is obligatory upon the wealth and not upon the individual. Not upon the what? The individual. So even though he's young, the money still has to be what? Paid. He's insane, but the zakat still has to be what? Paid. That's what most of the ulama of the past and present what? Said. And Shokani, he said what? No. And this teaches us a very important lesson, and that is if there's a great scholar who has strong knowledge, and as long as he can prove his point, his way of view, ما ضره من خالفه. ما ضره من خالفه. ولسنا نتعبد لسنا نتعبد لله بالجماهير وإنما نتعبده عز وجل بالأدلة بالحجج بالعلم الواضح الصحيح بس. Okay? We worship Allah Azza wa Jal based off what we feel is correct from the proof and the what? Evidence. According to what we feel. And we could be wrong. But we're sincere and we're trying to use the science that Allah has given us. And we don't worship Allah based off of what? And majority or this scholar. How can you say that? Who else has this view? I don't understand this. Right, moving forward. He says, Babu Zakat al-Haywan. He says the subchapter of Zakat due on animals. A Zakat due on what? Animals. In other words, يعني كأنه يقول هذا صنف من أصناف المال التي تجب الزكاة فيه. This is one of all عليكم السلام ورحمة الله الأصناف التي تجب الزكاة فيها. إن شئت مفرد أم جمع المهم. It says باب زكاة الحيوان, the chapter of zakat of animals. And this means is that from the types of wealth over which zakat is due is what? Animals, certain animals. You may have a farm. You may have bees and they produce honey. Do you have to pay zakat on that? What if it's commercial? Everyone understand this? Or if it isn't commercial? Or what other animals that you have? You may have horses. I have 3 stallions, 4 steeds, this, mares. Do you have to pay zakat on those animals? Everyone understand this? Whatever, whether it's a farm, commercial, or if it's your own what? Personal. Everyone understand this? Al-muhim, animals. The author, he says, إِنَّمَا تَجِبُ مِنْهُ فِي النَّعَمِ وَهِيَ الْإِبِلُ وَالْبَقَرُ وَالْغَنَمُ. There are only 3 types of animals. Or not even that, excuse me. There's only one type of animal, or one type of animals, and which is zakats due. And that is the animal, or the animals which are called an-na'am, with 2 fathas. An-na'am. An-na'am is translated into English to mean livestock. Roughly. One could say cattle, one could say what? Livestock. Cattle oftentimes is like bulls, steers. Livestock could be more. Allahu Alam, give or take. Al-muhim, an-na'am. And he then defines what an-na'am is. He says an-na'am includes 3 types of animals. Camels, al-ibn. Number 2 is al-baqar, cows. Number 3, al-ghanam, sheep and goat, goat and sheep. You understand this? So when he says camels, that includes all types of what? Camels. 2 humps or 1. Everyone understand this? Certain camels have more humps than what? Others. All camels are what? Created equal. Tayyib. The red camel. Wahakada. Tayyib. Tayyib. Camels. Then he says al-baqar. Literal translation would be what? Heifers. Or not even a heifer, because a heifer is of a certain age. That's not necessarily correct in English. A heifer is what considered? Last time I checked the dictionary. Al-muhim, a baqar can include a male cow, which is also called a bull. It can include a female cow, a young cow, an ox, perhaps. One may also say a what? Wildebeest, water buffalo, a yak, a bison, alpaca. Actually, in being technical, alpaca is related, if I'm not mistaken, to a what? To a camel. Alpaca, camel, right there. So if a person has an alpaca or a wanaka, whatever you want to call it, one may say what? You have to what? Pay zakat on it. And there are people who do have llamas in the United States. It's reality, let alone South America. There are many of them. Okay? So these are distant relatives of the camel. Moving forward, the baqar, as we said, a bison / buffalo. Is there a difference? Water buffalo. These things, do you have to pay zakat if you had a yak? Because Islam, obviously, these points of legislation were sent down in Arabia. So just because the animal wasn't in Arabia doesn't mean that you don't have to what? Pay zakat on it. Especially if you have a huge animal that does everything that the cow does. It gives milk, it mates, it carries things, it plows, it travels through the land. It's a mean of meat and leather and flesh and horn, etc. The Sharia is based off of the hikmah and not based off of the outward surah, yani, the inside, the content. Everyone understand this? So this is also a way of Abdul of extracting from the what? Condensed text. Last but not least, it says al-ghanam, including sheep, lamb, ewe, ram, all of those things. An ibex, mountain goat. Now, all of these things which are considered to be goat and sheep, give or take. Right? Everyone understand this? We went over this in Eid al-Adha, right? The difference in a ram, right? And a lamb and these things. Naam? Tayyib. Moving forward. So this is the only thing for which zakat is due. So I have my own personal horses. Salih, there's no what? There's no zakat on horses. There's no zakat on cats. There's no zakat on rabbits. There's no zakat on what? Chicken or... Well, is a bee an animal? Insect. Al-muhim. We can agree on this. So this is what the zakat is to be paid for. So that's the first point. Now, how do you pay zakat on these animals? What do you do? And many brothers have farms, and they need the what? They need to know this. How do you pay zakat on an animal? The author, or it says here, faslun fi zakat al-ibn. That which pertains to camels. And obviously that being the largest animal and the most expensive animal. That's why they start with that first. إذا بلغت الإبل خمسا ففيها شاة ثم في كل خمس شاة فإذا بلغت 25 ففيه ابنة مخاض أو ابن لبون. So, first and foremost, we already explained to Abdul Qabi, right? That it's not restricted just to camels. Not for someone to say, oh, Islam is just for Arabs. I'm not an Arab. We're not living in the Middle East in the 7th century. Who has camels? This is New York, Manhattan. We have buildings. Why are you going over this? It was one brother, a student of knowledge. When I did the class in this masjid some many years ago, he said, oh, why is Mufti going over the zakat of animals? No one has animals. We don't need to know that. We should just go over the zakat of money. And obviously, the brother, may Allah bless him, is mistaken in that for so many different reasons. First and foremost, there are people who do have what? Animals. Brothers, no question. Eid al-Adha, farms. Let alone, slaughterhouse, and all types of things. We have animals. Let alone the fact that it's a part of what? Islam. In college, everything that you study and learn, is it practical?
Not even close.
But you still have to what? Learn it to get the grade. And let alone the fact that it's a course on the subject. And there's nothing wrong with studying something which is theoretical. There's nothing wrong. Let alone if it's what? Practical. But there's nothing wrong with what? Yeah. Learn the history of ancient people. They're not around no more. I like to study them. I like to learn about them. Last but not least, you can convert those ancient, older things into what? Modern things, like we just said. So the first rule he says is that zakat, the nisab of zakat of ibn is what? 5. 5 is the minimum. Is the what? And not the maximum. There is no limit on the what? The max. It's only a limit on the what? Minimum. So if you have 4 camels, healthy camels, nice, beautiful camels, there's no what? There's no zakat. And the nisab, the minimum is what? Khams. You have to have 5 camels. Once you have 5, the moment you have 5 camels, you don't have to do what? Pay zakat. There's a tax due on your camels. Regardless of what your camels are for. Personal, giving milk, whatever they're used for, you don't have to do what? Pay zakat. And what is the zakat? What is the percentage of the camel? He says, فَفِيهَا شَاتٌ. There's a sheep that you must give. There's a what? A sheep. Most people, when they have camels, they also have a few other animals on a farm. And if you don't have an animal on a farm, one can say you pay the what? تُخْرِجُ الْقِيمَةِ. The worth of the what? Of the sheep. And so you have to estimate an average sheep, a good healthy sheep. لا تخرج الردي خسيس من المال ولا تخرج أنفس ما عندك وإنما شيء وسط. شيء وسط. You give a moderate animal. Not the best, most expensive, nor something which is low and what? Measly. So that will cost how much roughly? A medium-sized sheep.
280 in New York City.
New York City, how much?
400.
400. Yeah. About $400. 280 you say. And a big one, a real fat one, like a nice one, a beautiful one. What color ears? The brown or the black? Sawad, right? Remember that? Eid Adha. Yata'u fi Sawad. Oh, that was an adventure, that Eid, right? We went to the farm. Oh, subhanAllah. Just the fiqh of the animal, what the animal looks like. We went to the farm. We drove out. The farm was crazy. Some brothers, killers, from Brooklyn. Some brothers were queasy when they saw the blood, huh? I'm not going to mention no names though. I didn't say no one. I never said Abu Saeed. It was...
I have video.
Clear. Abu Wipeout, right? Some brothers were what? They were scared when they saw that sharp knife. It wasn't just Abu Saeed, it was other brothers too. Yeah, other brothers, big brothers. I'm not going to mention their names. So, going to the farm is an experience. Picking out the animals or what? And implementing the sunnah. Or the khutbah that we gave, let alone if the sheep is running from you. And the sheep runs through a metal fence. That sheep, subhanAllah, only Allah knows the life that was in that sheep. When we approached the sheep, it looked at us like, not me. I won't be your lamb chops tonight. We had to chase it, cut it off. Am I making this up? It was a challenge getting that sheep. It was good though, alhamdulillah. Yeah, it tasted good that night. So, moving forward, al-muhim is that if you have 5 camels, you either give a sheep or you give what? The cost of a sheep. So the zakat collector, he comes and you have to give him $350. Methanan. Or if there's no zakat collector and you have 5 camels, you have to what? You pay that money or give that sheep. Everyone understand this or not? Wadah, ikhwani? Let alone the fact that we've had camel meat where? In the United States before. We went to Minnesota. The Somali brothers, they gave it to us. They said that they got the camel meat, the halal camel meat from what? New Mexico, right? So there are camels in what? In the U.S. Moving forward. He says, ثُمَّ فِي كُلِّ خَمْسٍ شَاةٍ. And then each 5 additional camels, there's another sheep. So if you have 15 camels, how many sheep are you giving? 3. 20 camels, you're giving what? 4. Or how much money? 4. So how much? $1,400, $1,500 you're paying for the price of owning what? 5 camels. Everyone understand the chart so far? Moving forward. Now the next jump, Abdul Qawi. So we start off from 5 to what? 20. 5 to what? After 20, it's a new conversion. And that is when the author says, فَإِذَا بَلَغَتْ خَمْسًا وَعِشْرِينَ. When you have 25 camels, that's the new nisab. That's the new what? The new nisab. I mean, you have to pay something else. And it's not, you have to give an actual camel. An actual what? An actual, you no longer allow to give a sheep or a goat. You have to actually give a what? A camel. Everyone understand this? What age does this camel have to be? How big does this camel have to be? A grown camel? 1 out of 25? Or a smaller camel? These 2 camels, you have 1 or 2 options, Abdullah. The first one is called, the author, he says, Ibnatu Makhadin. And the second one is called Ibnu Labun. So Ibnatu Makhad is female. And Ibnu Labun is male. What is Ibnatu Makhad? Ibnatu Makhad, the literal translation is the daughter of, or the female child of what? Makhad. Makhad is mentioned in the Quran. Speaking about who? What happened? What's the verse? You don't know. The Makhad did what? It took her where? Ila jith nakhla. She says, oh Allah, I wish I would have been what? Not living before this pain. So the pains of childbirth, the agony of childbirth. The name of this camel is called a daughter of Makhad. Makhad means what? The pains of what? Delivery. That pertains to a specific what? Age. And if it's not a daughter of that, then it's a son of something else. Ibnu Labun, pertaining to milk. This goes to show you the deepness of the what? The Arabic language. Moving forward, he says in the footnotes, هي من ولد الناقة التي أتى عليها حول ودخلت في الثاني وحملت أمها والمخاض أو الماخض الحامل والمراد أنه قد دخل وقت حملها ولم تحمل قاله المصنف في النيل. He says this word means it is the baby camel that is at least a year old. It's at least what? Yeah. And it started on its 2nd year. It started on its what? Its 2nd year. So 12, 13 months, 14 months, 15 months, 16 what? 16 months. And not only has this baby camel reached a year and a half, a year and 3 months, but its mother is now pregnant. Meaning she has one and it's what? Time for another. One in the oven. And the mother is going through makhab. Pains of childbirth. So she's the daughter of makhab. Daughter of هذا هو. See how the timetable works? As soon as one is old enough, 6 months, 8 months, 1, 1.5, it's time for the what? The male camel to what? Come back again. Life. Look at how simple the life of an animal is. There's no getting caught up. Marriage, divorce. I don't want to go. I don't want to get married again. It's what? It's life. It doesn't what? Doesn't stop. Have a child. It's old enough to be on its own. Now what? Time for another one. You understand this? So this camel is a she camel, a baby she camel that's approximately 14 months, 15 months old. That is the age of the she camel that must be what? Given when you have 25 camels. And if you don't have the baby she camel like this, then you have to give a baby camel, a male. And he's called Ibnu Labun. What does that mean? He says, هو الذي دخل في السنة الثالثة وصارت أمه ذات لبن بعد وضع أو بعد وضع الحمل والأنثى يقال لها ابنة لبون. He says here, Ibn Labun is a male baby camel that is at least 2 years old. Not at least what? 1 year. So show you the value of the female over the male. The female, the virtue of the what? Female over the what? Over the male. Everyone understand this? It's a difference. They aren't of the same caliber of value and worth. Everyone understand this? The baby girl can be what? Younger. The boy has to be what? Older. So the baby camel is at least 2 years old, and it has entered into the 3rd year. 26 months, 28 months old, وهكذا. And after, it says, وَصَارَتْ أُمُّ ذَاتَ لَبَنٍ. And his mother, at this age or this time, is doing what? She has milk. So it's called the son of milk. The son of a milkmaid. The son of a suckling mother. The literal translation. The literal what? The literal translation. Everyone understand this? So if you have 25 camels, how many sheep do you have to give? There you are. You have to give an actual camel. A baby camel. And not necessarily a what? A big expensive camel. But a what? A baby camel. A baby boy or baby? If it's a boy, it has to be of this age. And if it's a girl, it has to be of what? Of that age. An issue here, it says in the footnotes, وقد نبه المصنف فيه وفي السيل على أنه لا يجزئ الذكر عن الأنثى في هذا الباب إلا إذا عدمت أو عدمت. He says, in the author's view, in another book, is that a person cannot give the boy if he actually has the girl. That it's only an alternative and it isn't an option. That's his view. There is no either a girl of this age or a boy. No, it's the what? And if you don't have that, then the boy of that age. Proving the value and the worth of the different what? No eating in my class. The proof and the value of what? Of certain camels. Everyone understand this? واضح إخواني? طيب. Moving forward. The author rahimahullah, he then says, وفي 36 ابنة لبون. And then when you have what? 36 camels. How many? 36. Okay. Jazakallah khairan. Or 35 or what? 36. He says, وفي 36 ابنة لبون. Inshallah, we're going to stop here tonight. And we're going to leave a little bit of time for the questions. And inshallah ta'ala, when we return from our trip from the lands of Canada, we will continue this lesson on the zakat and get deeper into the other animals as well, let alone the gold and the silver and the real juicy stuff. Inshallah ta'ala. Wallahu ta'ala alam.